It is another week of Unturned Pages. We're back. We're live. We've got some announcements coming very
I gotta get my
soon.
librarian look going on here. Like,
Yes. Librarian rest, yes. But yeah, we got some big announcements coming up this week. Can't make them yet, but stay
next week,
tuned.
next week,
Next week. Yep.
next week,
Stay tuned.
August 14th.
Yep. We're
Look
super
for
excited.
a big announcement coming on, and I tell you what, it's gonna change the direction of this show completely.
Definitely. Like, we're super excited. Me and Russ have been talking, and we've talked to several people this week, and let's just say it's going to take us up to a whole new level after this announcement.
Not even just this; it's gonna take us to a whole new level with the guests we have coming on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I am so proud to have Cathy on tonight. It is an amazing time for her to promote the event, share her story. And, it's an honor to have you on. And thank you for sharing your time with us.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you both. It's an honor for me to have been invited and to be able to access this time to talk to you both a little bit more about something we love, which is paranormal. And then also talk a little bit more about Fort Wayne Paracon that's coming up right
Super
after Michigan
fast.
Paracon.
Yeah, super fast.
Back to back to back.
Fast, super fast,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it's Michigan, it's Great Lakes, and then it's Fort Wayne. And it, like I was telling Russ today, I'm like, I think this weekend and next weekend is my last weekend fully at home until the 9th of October.
Oh my gosh.
Because
that's hard.
Right after
and you've got a little one.
Yeah, right after yours, I have Haunted Rock Island in Illinois, Paracon. So I'm like, yeah, the next few weeks are going to be busy and crazy, but we're super excited. So,
all right, so let's
kick
this off real quick and just say we are sponsored now by Expedition Entity, Enchanted Boutique, also Warner Paranormal.
It's not Enchanted Boutique. It's not Enchanted Boutique.
Oh, it's Enchanted Awakenings. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I forgot.
I thought you were going to say it's boutique.
No,
sorry.
I forgot you guys changed the name. My fault there.
Yes.
But also sponsored by Compass Curiosities, airing on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's these sponsors that we have are amazing. We'll be doing giveaways throughout the month. So each group's going to start giving away a little bit. So Jenny just put up the flyer there on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So
first one is given by Enchanted Awakenings. It will be a gift box between $20 and $50 worth of product from us. All you have to do is go to Spotify, follow, I don't know what they call it on Spotify, follow our Unturned Pages page.
Subscribe, follow, whatever it may be.
And then go back to Facebook, like that page of Unturned Pages, like the post, screenshot what you liked, or the Spotify like thing, and then tag friends, and you get some bonus points as well. So, and then we'll announce it the first weekend of September, so the September 3rd or something like that. But,
so anybody that's out there listening right now, we are looking, this is not a cry for help or anything like that, but we are looking for sponsors. Any author, any location owner, anything like that would like to donate a book or jewelry, crystals, things like that, it would really help the show out a lot, and we would give it away. We would sponsor you for the week. We would sponsor you for the month, whatever it may be that you give away. I know, Cathy, maybe you can cough up some some tickets. I mean,
that's potential. Let me tell you, Russ, for some reason my streaming paused and I couldn't hear anybody for the longest time. And then for some reason it came back on and you said, so Cathy, maybe you can throw us some. And I'm like, what are we throwing? Some tickets for a giveaway. Is that right?
Correct. And that was karma. That was like divine intervention. But no. I really do appreciate you coming on, and
of course.
Jenny, what are you doing over there? Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna put Cathy in that position.
I'm not trying to, but I mean, we are talking about
you don't ask, you don't
sponsorship.
get. You have to ask. That's what one of my directors taught me. Don't ask, don't get. So always ask.
Definitely. So tell us about yourself, Cathy. How did you get into the paranormal field, and what made you want to put on this great event that's coming up?
Awesome. So for me, I grew up with it. I mean, I think a lot of people have a similar story, that when I was a kid, I noticed things happening around my house. I heard things and nobody believed me. And so by the time I got to middle school, I bought myself a tape recorder, and this is going to tell you how old I am. I bought an actual tape recorder.
I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
It was actual tapes. And so I was an only kid living at home. My siblings were grown and moved out, and it was just my parents, me, and they were both gone. I was home alone, and my grandma came to pick me up to take me to a high school basketball game. And I left the recorder in the hallway and came back. And when we listened to it, there were voices on it. And so not only was that validating for me when nobody believed me, but it was also, it sparked this interest and this curiosity and understanding, who is this person? Why is this person here? Why are they saying, help me, in this scary voice that sounds like it's echoing, like it's, to hear this as your very first EVP before you even knew what it was called. It was terrifying. It gave you chills. It gives me chills now. I've never heard one like that ever since, but that was what got me into it. My mom was hooked. She loved it too. I think, Jenny, you've met my mom before at some of these things.
Michigan, yep.
Yes, Pammy. Yep. She was the year before last. Little Pammy. She's about a 5'2" woman with the mouth of a sailor, but a heart of gold. I know. She's my best friend. And so we do a lot of things together. But long story short, I grew up as that kid in elementary school in the little town of Orestes who had, fewer than 1,000 people. And I was checking out the only nonfiction book in our school library about ghosts every week. So that's all I was interested in reading about.
So I can relate to you because I grew up, I graduated from a school. My graduating class was 63 people. Oh,
yeah. Okay. We were a little bigger than that.
Oh, we had probably about 1,200 K through 12 in the entire school district. So,
yeah.
One of our requirements for English was to write a senior research paper on something like a topic or something like that. And I wrote it on paranormal research. And I think we lost Cathy. She just froze up completely.
Yep, I think we lost Cathy.
There we go. I don't know what's happening with my internet, but anyway, I heard you were writing a research paper.
There we are. I wrote a research paper, and it was only supposed to be like it was supposed to be like a minimum of 5 pages long. I ended up writing a 14-page research paper. Oh, wow. Because I've been in the field since I was 13 years old. I'm 39 now, so it's 26 years being in this field.
You're younger than me.
Well,
but it's refreshing.
But it was one of those things like, when you graduate high school, they have the whole most likely to. And I was most likely, like in my yearbook, I was most likely to catch Casper. That literally was my most likely. And you know what? I'm living this now 21 years later after graduation, and I'm still doing what I love to do.
Yeah. I was gonna say, definitely when you're doing something you love, when you're passionate about something, it's easy to write 14 pages about it because you enjoy it and you love just getting your thoughts and feelings about it out, I guess, out in the world, out on paper, online, whatever. But back then it was on paper.
Yes,
when something's your passion, it's the thing that lights you up. It's the thing that fills your cup, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And you can really tell when you talk
And
to
that's
people.
the thing, you
doing the
can't
they
stop
love.
writing about it. You can't stop talking about it. You can't stop living it.
No.
Oh yeah.
Well, you can't stop living this because it's everywhere. I mean, the way I try to explain it is I think everyone would have some sort of experience if they stopped and just kind of lived in the now for a minute instead of always on your phone, always listening to music, always watching TV. It's everywhere. You know, I don't think it's escapable. So it is it's our reality of the universe. It's just a matter of, you know, what does it mean? And what do we learn from it? What can we learn from it? And then start going down those rabbit holes with not Cinderella, Alice, because it could take you down then there's portals and there's wormholes and there's all and the UFOs, and maybe it's all related. And I think it is somehow, but that's the thrill for me, is just how can we connect more dots?
And see, that's what I love.
It's exciting.
It's not just the paranormal. It's not just the afterlife. Nope. Not just that. It's the cryptids. It's
everything's paranormal. Yeah.
It's everything, and everything's
physical. Yep.
It's all connected.
That's what's great. I've seen investigators that I've investigated with 10 years ago go from, I'm only doing paranormal locations, and now they're doing Sasquatch hunting or cryptid hunting or this, that, everything else, because they've expanded their view on what can be possible.
Definitely.
Well, that's a screenshot for a lifetime. I am not a crook. Kathy, you still with us?
I think Kathy's having internet issues.
No, I think she is as well. All right, so
in the meantime, let's see who will all be at the upcoming Fort Wayne Paracon.
She's back.
She's back.
I'm trying to get connected to a hotspot now instead of my internet because it doesn't want to work. But anyway, you were saying, sorry.
No.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh God.
Oh, she has the Karen face. I want to speak to your manager.
Are you back now, Cathy?
I'm back.
Okay. All right. She is back.
And I've got full strength, so we should be good.
All right. Good. Good. All right. We were just about to put up on the screen who can be expected to be at Fort Wayne Paracon.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So what got you wanting to put on this Paracon? I know in 2021, I believe, or was it last year? I can't remember. There was DeadCon.
I was at about two and a half years ago, maybe 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
2.5.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah,
October 2021.
Yeah, so, I think you're right.
So you came right out of it strong out of COVID.
I'm sorry.
I said you came right out of it strong out of COVID.
This was different.
That was different. That wasn't us.
All right.
So
all right.
Long story. So why this and why now? I've never hosted an event before. So this is my very first time doing anything like this. And so here's kind of how it came about. It's just one of those things that it evolved into this. I attended a lot of the conventions. Jenny, I met you at the conventions. That's how we knew each other. And then I just started, I guess, networking in the paranormal community. I started talking to more and more people, I guess, getting more entrenched, going to more haunted places. And then I had my son, and it was a little bit harder for me to go to the overnight investigations, but I do get to go to some of the conventions. But we did have, I was so excited. Well, let me back up. So 2 years ago, I was in Michigan Paracon, and I was talking to a few folks there that I know, and they said, "Oh, so are you going to that convention? You live in Fort Wayne. Are you going to that convention in Fort Wayne?" And I looked at them and I said, "What convention?" And it was in like 3 weeks, and I had no idea. I didn't even know it existed. And so I'd heard they had tried to do some things a couple years prior. And then COVID. So I know things got pushed, and they changed the name, I believe, but I didn't even know it was happening. So I said, well, maybe. So I told one of my friends I'd help him with his booth. And so I did go to DeadCon, and I helped him with his booth. And I just remember I was so excited to have something in my city. Mm-hmm. And I wanted something that could be repeatable. And I wanted something that we could, I guess, take more of a narrow approach to just the paranormal and not try to do too many things with it, at least to start with. And so one of my clients was actually one of the sponsors of DeadCon, and I run into him there and I had no idea. And so we got to talking and I said, man, I really wish Fort Wayne could have a redo. We could do something like this again. And he says, oh, I've run events in Fort Wayne for the last couple of decades. I know how to do events. And I said, well, I know the paranormal side. So we just kind of paired up and said, here it is. And so it just kind of grew legs from there. Long answer to your question.
Yeah. And I remember DeadCon. I remember going to Fort Wayne. It was a great city. There's a lot of people. Not to say that didn't happen at the DeadCon, but there was a lot of people in Fort Wayne. And I think it was what affected that event was there was
it was Fright Night.
Fright Night, and there was a big
the zombie walk.
But there was something in Indianapolis. A big
it was Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con
time.
So I think that all affected everything. But that's where I
think so too.
I was hoping Scotty work at that event. I was hoping Willie Atkins. I was hoping Philip and Christopher at that event. So I was running around because I only stayed 1 day, 2 days really. But I'm like, I want to go back to Fort Wayne. And then this event popped up. I'm like, yes. And then you added Grant Wilson. I'm like, yes. I'm like, we are going. Grant Wilson. Hello.
You know, looking at this event, I mean, the lineup you have, you got Dustin Parry, you got Brian Murray, you got Ken Boggle, you have one of my dear and near friends, Adam Bonnet.
Oh, I know. I love Adam.
Adam is such an
Hopefully
amazing
he's
guy.
Watching. I know.
I hope Adam's watching. But
he better be watching.
You know, you have Grant Wilson in there, and Chris Williams and Brian Cano and Tim and Rochelle. You know,
you have Larry from Expedition Entity.
I mean, you have a great lineup, and I tell you what, if I wasn't so far away, I would be at this event. Like,
thank you.
Literally at this event, because I know so many of these people. I know Dustin, I know Brian, I know Ken, I know Adam and Tim and all them. We've all done events before, and including Shane. I was at him. I was at an event last year with him at Gettysburg.
And this weekend, or this past month, you were at.
Yeah, this past month I was with him in Gettysburg, and
Russ, we could fly you out. That's what we just do is fly you out to Fort Wayne.
But I thought you were flying me out for another reason.
No, we'll fly you out for this one this year, and then next year we'll fly you out for that other event that we're not talking about.
Okay. I mean, if we can work it out, I'm all in. And Cathy, I may be meeting you soon. So.
Well, my mom just said you can stay with us in the hotel, and we'll be all good. We'll get you a room, and we'll have fun in Fort Wayne.
Rock out Fort Wayne, Indiana. Let's do it.
Fort Wayne hey, downtown Fort Wayne is cool. You know, that's one thing that I just moved to Fort Wayne about 6 years ago. Lived in Indy before that, and then we're from a small town, so it's just a little dinky place. So we went to the big city, which was too big for me, and then we came to Fort Wayne, and it was just right. But the downtown, just like most downtowns, had crime and had things going on, and then they developed something called the Downtown Improvement District, and they have their own grant money, their own funds to create.
Oh, she lost. We lost Cathy.
Uh-oh. We're losing her.
We're losing Cathy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No. Can you hear?
Yes.
Why do I feel like I'm in a
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There must be a portal somewhere because this really doesn't happen to me. Sorry. But anyway, long story short, downtown Fort Wayne, there's lots of eclectics.
I did bring a new enchanted object into my house. So.
Oh. It's you then. It's not me.
Yeah, we'll blame Russ. I like blaming Russ. That sounds like a good idea.
Why not?
I take all the fall anyway. It's fine. When something goes wrong, I'm just like, all right. Yep, that's me.
No, but yeah, we have a great lineup. And for me, it's, I feel like I have so many friends in the community, but this, we didn't want to have too big of an event. So it was limited on who we could ask, of course. And I mean, we had a long, dream team list, but I think we have the ultimate dream team here. People who are well recognized and respected in the field, people that do their job very well as far as trying to uncover the truth and not necessarily get all excited because something moved. Yes, we get excited, but okay, why did it move? What made it move? And let's get to the bottom of it. And let's not scream and run out of the room because it moved. Let's try to figure it out.
That over-dramatization of it.
Yes. And I think that's when I talk to people that aren't into this, or I tell them what I'm doing, and they're saying, "You're doing what now?" Yeah. This is a very conservative community. And so
is it conservative though? I mean,
yeah, it really is.
It really is. Like, yes. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll tell you two things, and it's going to give you a good idea of what Fort Wayne is about. Stir the pot. So what I read in a magazine article that Fort Wayne has the most churches and strip clubs per capita than any other city in the United States. What? So we've got, I don't know, but they're not wrong. Like every corner has a church, every corner has a strip club. To each their own.
Sorry, Jenny, I'm there.
To each their own.
But
it's all
also,
good. But it is conservative, and so they aren't. Not a lot of people
I grew up in that I graduated high school from, and I grew up from 5th grade to 12th grade. We had more bars in our town, only masked by churches. So there were 6 bars in town, 5 churches, and 1 stoplight. So, okay. I mean,
I get it. Churches, that's a lot, but that's a lot of churches and bars for a town that just has 1 stoplight.
Oh yeah.
And were they always hopping? Or what were they really doing in there? Like, I always heard there was like a roadside diner that
I'm not a privy to say
that had like cards or like.
I'm not a privy to say.
Yeah,
we'll just say
that's exciting too.
I grew up in a small town right outside of Youngstown, so I really can't. I don't want Gino to come look for me. But
no. let's hope not. I
can say Fort Wayne also has some really cool haunted locations, like the Bell Mansion.
Yes.
I'm super excited. Like, once I come down to Fort Wayne in September, I'm going to hit up the Bell Mansion. I want to go to because you see it all over Facebook. It's like the newest, hottest location in the Midwest is the Bell Mansion. And Angie and the team there have been doing such an amazing job.
And it's beautiful. It's restored so nicely. And one of the things that I think is so interesting about it, well, first of all, it's the Bell Mansion because of the Bells who lived there. And Clara Bell was actually into art, and she has some ties into the Arts Association here in Fort Wayne and helping getting it started with another gentleman, which is really cool. And so Angie has sometimes when you go there, art, like local artists will have their art appeared in the Bell Mansion, which I think is a really cool touch. But it's a very warm and inviting place. And I mean that not because it has like lights and heat when other places don't, but when you walk in, you just don't get that feeling that there's anything like to worry about here or be afraid of here. You feel like you can have a conversation with someone on the other side, and it's just conversations with someone you can't see. So it's a really nice place to visit, the Bell. So if you can, I would definitely, if you could. This is the Freemason Hall. So this is where we're actually having the Paracon.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
Tell us about it.
Stoked. Okay, so so the Freemason Hall, I have uncles and cousins that are Freemasons, but truth be told, I never really knew much about the Freemasons. And so when we saw this building, one of our friends had said, hey, let's go check this out. And because they have weddings and things there. And I said, okay. So I did. And that's the place you need to have a paranormal convention because the history in there, look at this. Like this doesn't even do it justice. If you were to go in and look at those banisters, and behind that is like a huge pipe organ, like goes all the way up the wall. And it's beautiful. This is where all of our speakers are going to have their presentations. But there's just so much history there. And I didn't realize that the Freemasons actually, for the city of Fort Wayne, that is how the city got started. They were all Freemasons. The police chief was a Freemason. The fire chief was a Freemason. The mayor was. The judges were. Like, everybody was. And then I started looking at the pictures of these founding Masons, and all of our streets are named after them. So it's like,
Oh, wow.
wow, it is such a neat history. But not only that, Larry at Expedition Entity talks about the Battle of Black Hawk, and was talking about some of the well-known former presidents that were part of that people don't really realize, but they were Masons too. So it's just interesting to me that there might be a correlation, being this close to the Black Hawk battlegrounds, that, hey, some of the Freemasons from Fort Wayne may have actually fought in that war. So just walking in there and seeing all this architecture, feeling all the history, and just being able to present this thought and this idea to my city in such a historic place, I'm telling you, it is just, it's got me all geeked out. I'm just really excited.
So what are some of the paranormal claims? Because I know the ghost hunt will be taking place at this location.
So I'm the kind of person that I don't like to know the background. Oh, Larry. Yes. Hi, Larry. Thank you for sharing that. He's watching. I'm so happy.
Yes.
But no, he's got a lot of really good information on that battle. So some of the claims, I don't really always love to hear what other people have experienced, because I don't like to have that thought in the back of my head that it's supposed to be a little girl with a ball or a doll or whatever, what have you. But I need to investigate it more myself. But one thing that I did find that I need to dig into a little bit more is we were actually in one of the ritual rooms. They allowed us in there. And I'm telling you, it looks like a courtroom from the early, like late 1800s. It's beautiful. It's so exciting. And so we actually had the Journal Gazette there, and they were doing an article on us. And so the cameraman and the journalist were in there. We were in the dark. We were doing just a little EVP session. And I just kind of like to sit and listen. And I put my headphones on. And I caught some whispering. I couldn't tell what was being said or what direction it was coming from. But about that time, the reporter next to me says, "Ooh, I feel like something might be like a breeze on my arm or something." And then, but we had folks in there that I don't normally investigate with. And so we had a lot of contamination in the EVP, but we had some really interesting experiences there. But some folks claim that they can hear footsteps outside the ritual room because there are wooden floors. People, there's a lot of claims about the basement. I'm not going to necessarily share what was shared with me because I don't know how accurate it is, but there are claims all throughout the building. So what I like to suggest to folks is, come in and experience it for yourself. Without having any preconceived ideas. I believe that there's activity there, and I've experienced it, but I've not been in it enough to really say too much about it. But if you're like me, you're going to want to go in with eyes wide open instead of having a picture painted for you before you go.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Jenny, I want to say this. If you're really serious about me coming out for this event, I do have some history. So all three of my uncles, plus both my grandfathers, were Masons. I was actually, when I was younger, in D. Malay, which was the younger version of Masons. My sister was in Job's Daughters.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the female version of the Masons.
That's what I've heard, yes.
I have so many connections to the Masons, and I cannot join because I'm not a tradesman. I don't have the qualifications to be able to join. But it's one of those things where I do have some very strong connections to the Masonic line, and
that is so cool.
And I feel terrible to say this. I lived in Ohio for 28 years of my life. And I had never once been to Indiana.
Hey, that doesn't sound horrible. I mean, what would you come? There's not a lot to come to Indiana for, honestly.
Neither
That you
is
couldn't get in
Ohio.
Ohio. But that's the same thing. It's like you could probably do just about anything in Ohio that you could do in Indiana,
What do you
except
do in
Fort Wayne
Ohio? Just drive
Paracon,
through.
a flyover state.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Definitely.
That's
Well,
okay.
I can say this: when you Google the hall, Fort Wayne Paracon shows up. So
yeah. Well, the cool thing is, my partner, who I had mentioned earlier, who helped me get all this together because he's done events and things like that. He is an entrepreneur. He owns 6 different businesses, including a marketing company. So he is handling the SEO and the advertising, and he also has printing. And so he's helping with printing. So I lucked out, honestly. So he's done a great job with our SEO and making sure that we show up well. So we definitely have that going for us, and are extremely lucky to have those types of resources that others might not have, especially on their first go around.
Like when I'm
kind of one of those right place, right time kind of things.
Exactly. Like I said, I totally believe things happen for a reason, and I believe all the stars are lining up, and everything's falling where it's supposed to when you do it in the right time, at the right place, with the right people. And,
so let's go through some of the special guests who you will have. I have each of their photos here. So first ones are Grant Wilson and Destin Perry. Tell the viewers who might not know who these two great men are, down-to-earth men, who they are and why they're known in the paranormal field.
Sure. So if you think back to the very first Ghost Hunters show, and I mean, not necessarily, I mean, yes, Ghost Hunters, but we're actual first Ghost show.
We're talking season 1
of the first Ghost show ever.
We're talking season 1 private investigation at a home, not Waverly Hills, not these.
I mean, Waverly Hills is fun, but I miss those home investigations. Those are my favorite.
I do too.
Some of the best evidence they've had comes out of that. But I really love too, once they reveal everything to the homeowners, kind of seeing what their reaction is and what advice they're given. So Grant is one of the co-founders of the original Ghost Hunters. Like you said, season 1, back when they were plumbers. Going into people's homes, and I had the privilege. But you know what was cool is that kind of experience helped their debunking skills. So they could recognize sounds and smells and things like that, and they could say, "I have a really strong feeling this is probably HVAC," and they say, "You don't have a ghost." Well, you might have a ghost, but the sound you're hearing is actually you need a new HVAC system. But yeah, I had the privilege of meeting Grant for the first time several years after that at a GameStop, because he had been developing games and things like that. And I heard him talking to a little kid, and the little kid says, "Oh my gosh, aren't you scared? Like going in there in these places?" And long story short, he says, "Well, are you afraid of me?" He says, "Well, no." "What about that lady over there? What about your mom? Are you scared of her?" "No." Well, ghosts are just people that you can't see. There's somebody's grandma, there's somebody's dad. So there's nothing to really be afraid of, is there? They're probably afraid of you just like you are of them. We don't know. And so that kid was like, "Oh," and you could just see like the realization wash over him. And I remember that ever since. And that's what I taught my son is it's probably your Papa Brown that you're hearing. It's just a person you can't see looking after you,
It's literally that feeling of comfort of like, okay, well, you don't need to be scared of them because they're not scared of you. So don't be scared of them because they're just there to watch over you.
Exactly. And it's for me, it's a comforting feeling. It now.
Really
it wasn't when I was a kid, but
like I met Grant in 2011, 2012 when there was a Paracon up here in Minnesota. He is you know how people have that feeling of they're on TV, they're going to not really care about you as a person. You'll go get your picture signed or get a picture taken, get your autograph, and then they'll just brush you off, right?
Jenny, the word you're looking for is egotistical.
Okay, yes. Okay, yes. But Grant is like the complete opposite. He will sit down with you and talk. Like we went to Michigan.
Real talk.
We went to Michigan in 2018 and we brought my daughter, and at Michigan everyone needs a ticket, even babies. We were going to go for one day, and Grant found out that we weren't coming back the next day. He's like, wait, what? Like, you have to pay a ticket for her? She's only 4 months old. He goes, here, I'm going to give you a ticket to come back for the second day to hang out with me. I was like, Grant, you do not need to do that. He goes, don't, just take it. Grant is one of the most down-to-earth, generous people I've ever met. So is Dustin Perry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to start to see a theme when you go through these, because the folks that were selected were carefully selected for a reason, because I want the folks in Fort Wayne to have that good experience. These folks, I mean, they're people just like you and me. I mean, they put their pants on one leg at a time. They brush their teeth in the morning. But at the same time, the reason they're doing this is to share their passion or to help people, you know, genuinely help people, not just, oh, I'm on TV. Oh, hey, you know, no, these guys, their first, I guess, passion is not being on a TV. Their first passion is investigating the unknown. And then they have found their love of the people that follow their journeys, and they truly care. So you're going to definitely see that theme as we go through these. But you're absolutely right, Jenny. And Dustin, the same. Dustin is.
Oh, yeah. Dustin will sit down with you and talk for hours and hours. Like, that dude has so much knowledge, and he's so, like, inspirational with what he posts on Facebook.
What he
talks
motivational
about,
speaking,
how he talks to people. Yeah.
Justin is one of the most inspirational and motivational people that I know, and I've known him.
Shane Pittman.
Yes.
Pittman too.
I mean, these folks are the salt of the earth.
About Tim and Murray, you're gonna make me tear up.
Oh, yes, yep. I try to tell his story, and I can't tell it the way he tells it, but I get chills every time I try.
Yeah. So
the first time I ever met Tim was actually the first time I ever met Jenny.
No, it was not. No,
yes, it was.
No, because I met you the couple months before that event at the at the schoolhouse.
And Tim was there.
No, Tim was not there that night.
Yes, he was. I actually just saw the picture on Facebook.
Are we at an impasse?
So you're thinking about the schoolhouse event.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm wrong. I am a man, and I will say this to every female out there. I am wrong. I am sorry.
Oh, come on.
So Russ came out 2 months before the schoolhouse event that I was running or throwing on to do a private investigation. I had happened to have a free night. I looked at my mom and like, get in the car. We're going to go to Wisconsin Rapids. We're going to go hang out with Russ because we've been Facebook friends forever. And we went, had fun, and then Russ came back 2 months later to do our schoolhouse event that we were hosting. And yes, Tim was there.
Yes, and that's also when you jumped in my arms, and we tried to recreate that picture when you came up to Massachusetts. It did not go so well. So.
No, it did not.
That would have been funny. You were trying to recreate it.
I was like
trying, 16. And that was 10 years ago. So I mean,
I was 16 at the time, so I was very light at that time. So maybe.
Oh, stop, Jenny.
So for people who don't know, Tim Alley runs Potographs for Pooches, which helps raise money for animal shelters throughout the country wherever he does events. Maury was his puppy that saved his life from.
Yep.
I'm trying not to cry here.
I know.
Yep.
Suicidal thoughts. Like
it is a very touching story, and it's one of those things where, you know, Tim is such a great person, and it really shows in leaps and bounds of
for sure
what these paw children, these fur children, could do for you. He
had Lori. He's had several dogs since then. He's had kitties that have that same feeling as well. He's raised a lot of money in, I think, the 12 plus years he's done Potographs for Pooches. And it's amazing because everywhere he goes, if it's Michigan, if it's Fort Wayne, if it's Wisconsin, he's always supporting by donating a portion of that funds to.
He's done Ohio with Adam Kimmel.
Yep.
With ISSCon and or FCS, not ISS, sorry, FCS, and Madison, MadCon that they do, and Tim is just such an amazing guy. Not even just what he does, but he is just an amazing human being.
Oh yeah,
and genuine. I mean, when we say he's doing these events and donating to the shelters, this man typically takes no money for himself. So when we say a portion, anything that's made goes. Like, he doesn't keep it for himself. So when he makes these shirts, if he pays $10 for the shirt and he gets $25 for it, he'll pay himself back the 10, and then the 15 goes to the animal shelter in the area that he's at. And he says, I'm not doing anything great. Murray was great. Like, I'm just trying to tell that story. So he's so humble. So he doesn't even see the good that he's doing. But not only is he doing a lot of good, in my opinion, with animal shelters, humane societies, he's also doing a lot from the perspective of suicide prevention and awareness, and tying those two things together. And one thing that we did when he was here at DeadCon, I was helping him at his booth, and he donated to Humane Fort Wayne. And since I live here, he allowed me to take the money to them. And I'm telling you, they were over the moon that we thought of them, and we get Christmas cards from them every year. And so we're doing it again this year. So not only is he going to donate his proceeds to them this year, he's asked for his speaker fee to go to them as a donation. So he's not being paid to come.
Oh,
and they're also having an adoption weekend at our event.
See, that's going to be very dangerous.
Don't. I can't come back to Massachusetts with a pet.
I cannot come home to Minnesota with a pet. Cathy, come on.
Yes,
no.
Don't do that to me, Cathy. If Jenny does fly me out, I cannot do that.
Well, if nothing else, you can talk other people into adopting these babies, because we need to get the babies adopted.
I'm going to get a really not nice message from Nicole if he comes home with a dog or a cat or something. I'm going to be
I can't have dogs. I have a bearded dragon right now. Can I have a cat?
I do too.
That's it.
I have a dog and a dragon. I don't even call her a bearded dragon anymore. She's the dragon.
Quickly,
mine is Dobby from Harry Potter.
Dobby.
Well,
my son named ours, and she's Sweetie Pie.
Aww.
Little Miss Sweetie Pie.
Hey, you gotta love it.
I know.
So Shane Pittman, he's from Holzer Files, 20 Days Ain't Haunted. He's a very motivational speaker type of a person as well. He posts such inspirational posts all the time. Like, he and I talk a lot. He's actually going to fly out to New York next year with us and investigate while we're at sanatorium with him and Josh from The Searchers, because we run in a auction at the Gettysburg Bash, and he didn't have to do that, but he said, I'm going to fly both me and Josh out and investigate with you. I was like,
and that's awesome. That's what the Bash is all about. It's raising money for what it is. And, Shane and Josh both are amazing individuals. It's one of those things. And Jenny, you may be in trouble.
I know, I see.
Yep, you may be in trouble.
For people who don't know, Ken Boggle is a tarot reader. He's amazing. I've had numerous readings with him. Very
Ken is an amazing guy.
Very inspirational, motivational as well. Dana, just like the same, psychic medium, very motivational.
One thing I'd say too, for anyone out there that isn't really familiar with the field or any of the folks that you're seeing up here, I'm trying to encourage people who haven't thought about these kinds of things before to come to the Paracon and think of it as a safe space. So, I'll tell my friends and family, I know these people very personally, and I've known Ken for years. I've known Jenny for years. Danny and I have known each other for a few years, and we're all good friends. And so if you've ever
I met you 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. Hi, Russ. I've known Russ for 45 minutes. No, I'm kidding. But, it's a safe space to come out and give it a shot, see what it's all about without worrying, oh, I don't know this person. Like, are they for real? Are they just, some people, you just don't know. And so this is going to be a safe place with great people. So I hope people come out and give it a shot, because they're, like, we just keep going, and the people are just as great as the page before. They're all great.
Chris is such an amazing woman. I love her to death.
For people who don't know who Chris Williams is, she was on Ghost Hunters International as well.
As Brian.
Brian was on.
Brian wasn't.
Haunted Collector.
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting my. There's so many
You're getting your shows mixed up.
Yeah.
Well, I only live 45 minutes from Brian and Johnny, so I mean.
Oh yeah. Johnny is cool.
Lucky you. I'm jealous. Like, if I could move.
I live an hour from Grant and Jason.
Well, no, Grant doesn't live in Rhode Island anymore, so you're farther away.
All right. What?
Come on.
He's closer to me than to you now.
Burst my bubble. Fine.
Pop your bubble. But
I'll bring you a red balloon if I come to fucking Indiana. Don't worry.
Oh God.
Oh boy. And the red balloon, for anybody who doesn't know, that's a Pennywise reference, right? That's it. Yep.
I don't approve of this it thing tonight with you two. I don't like
I wasn't expecting it. I just keep him up. Pennywise is on my desk with Tylenol at all times. So I didn't stage it. It just happened.
Well, Pennywise does cause a headache, so I mean,
yeah.
It's only fair.
All right. A big headache all the time.
I love
All right, so we got Brian Cano and Chris Williams coming.
Yes.
Yep.
Two great people. We got Adam, who I love dearly. I met him at
He is watching. He commented earlier, so he is really? Watching.
Oh, Adam. Love you to death, buddy. I if Jenny follows through to her word, I will see you soon.
I can't wait. Really... I met him at Trans Allegheny at my very first big time, one of those big places. My mom and I went, and that's where you met him too. And I remember, gosh, I'm like a kid in a candy store in these places. So everybody had left. My mom and I were the only two people left, because I'm I'm not going to leave until they kick me out. And so I was with Paul, and we were investigating, and Adam was like, I was sitting in the gift shop with your mom. She was getting mad. We couldn't find you. And it was he's like, she started getting more and more angry. And then I came back, and I was like, I left my bag in that room. And we were like, oh no. So then we had to go back and find my bag, and it was a whole thing. But he is so fun and so sweet.
You know what? One of the biggest respects that I have for Adam is when I met him as a tour guide for Tala. Mm-hmm. He actually took himself out of his wheelchair and drug himself up the steps to get up to the next level. Got back in his wheelchair with assistance, but the fact that he was that dedicated to do that, that for me was hands down. You got respect in my book.
Oh, for sure.
So, and now you have Brandon Masulo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I met him. So I met Brandon. There was an event in Warsaw several years back. I'm thinking it was. I can't remember what year it was, but he is a parapsychologist. And so he's wrote several books. He's a very intelligent person who takes his knowledge of all things scientific and psychological and tries to find rhymes and reasons. But when he looks at things, he's not trying to say there are no ghosts. He's not trying to debunk anything, but he comes up with alternate theories in some cases that are still paranormal, but it's not necessarily ghost the way we think about ghosts. And so some of the stories that he shared just I mean, blew me away, blew my socks off. And I was so intrigued. I was like, okay, I want to know this person. And so bought his book, of course. And he's just, I love his take on paranormal and his studies and, you know, where it's taken him and how he uses that with his day job, which is also with helping people. So I will be really interested to hear him speak again, because I have not had the privilege of doing that since I saw him in Warsaw. But he's again, great guy, very good intent. So Jay and Dana and Shane, I all met at a Potographs event. So that's how I got to know them. Because you know what, Tim, if they're Tim's people, they're good people. So I met Jay, and we're kind of following that theme. I don't know if you guys either of you know Jay, but
I know.
I do not actually.
Well, you're going to like him because he looks at paranormal again from that whole lens. He was just, I guess, a ghost hunter, an investigator, a paranormal investigator. And then he started to widen his horizons, and he does, where he lives, he does a lot of looking for Sasquatch and tying all that together, because it's all paranormal. If you just think of the word, it just means above normal. It could be Loch Ness, it could be Bigfoot, it could be ghosts. They're all above normal, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And so he ties all that together, and we had some really cool conversations. And we were tossing ideas back and forth, and I was like, look at Loch Ness Monster. Maybe it's a residual haunt of a dinosaur that lived there billions of years ago. That's why you never find the corpse. Maybe that's what Bigfoot is. And we're all just like, whoa. And I just love having those kinds of conversations, because nobody knows the answer, but all the what ifs kind of get your wheels turning. So we had an awesome conversation. And then Jenny, I met her actually at the same event that I met Brandon in Warsaw. And she was there helping Dave Spinks, who's probably on one of your next pages. She was his publisher and kind of helped him as a business manager. She was a licensed clinical therapist and owned her own business. She's also a psychic medium. And she's also, there's just so much. She's a shaman. She's a Reiki master. Like, she's just mastered it all. And I can't remember how many times she said now that she has died and come back to life, like had near-death experiences and automobile accident and different things. And that's when all of her abilities seem to turn on. So I met her by happenstance, because she wasn't even advertising that. I just said, oh my gosh, I love your outfit. And so we just got to talking and found out all these great things about her. I think you guys know these guys.
Me too.
Brian and Rochelle.
Brian and Rochelle. Do we want to call them Brichelle? Because one never goes, can't have one without the other. And they are so funny. I am telling you. I just love talking to these two, because they're so much fun.
We will have
so down to earth.
We'll have to wrap Brian up in bubble wrap if there's stairs or escalators or elevators or anything, because at Vegas Pure Unity event, he decided to walk up the escalator. Well, let's just say he didn't win that battle. And got injured.
Why would you even try that?
Because Rochelle gave him the idea. And he said
she probably just wanted to see if he would do it.
And he did it. And
I remember him coming back
to the vet, and he's like, I'm fine. My knee's just a little screwed up. And let's just say the rest of the weekend, he was not walking.
Oh.
And the medic,
and she was like, I didn't think he would do it.
Security and the medics were like, what happened? And they're like, he fell down the escalator. And I'm like, they're going to go back and watch that video. They're going to watch this all happen.
Over and over again.
I'm just saying, in Louisville, Kentucky, when I went to Scarefest for one time, because I've been to Scarefest multiple times, I did, and I will admit this drunkenly, run up the down escalator in a pair of boot heels.
No. And I know what you're talking about too, because I can see it. That escalator is probably right across from that Irish pub type bar.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. You are completely right. And
I can see you doing that now in my mind. I needed to have
I got yelled out by security.
They're no fun. Come on.
All right, so we got Larry Essler and Dave Spinks.
Yep. So we were talking about Larry earlier, and he was watching and said hi to everybody. but he is on a show called Expedition Entity.
He's one of our sponsors.
Yes.
Oh, don't we have them on next week?
No.
Shameless plug. No, but he's great. Like his love and knowledge of history and just how he ties his paranormal investigating into history and getting it and raising, I guess, I don't want to say raising awareness for, but I guess getting people to think more about, you know, the Chicagoland area and how that battle was so, and you know, nobody's ever heard of it, but it was so instrumental in the overall war.
Oh yeah.
You just don't realize it. And it's just chilling to think about it and all of the things that happened there.
Truthfully, like even like just Expedition Entity is such a great show. The guys, Dan and Larry, Jenny at the time, Steve, and everyone, it's just so amazing. Like I had the opportunity last November to actually film an episode with them at Broadhead Manor here in Wisconsin, or down in Wisconsin. And cool. I thought all of the back end stuff, the filming, the interviews, everything, and then seeing the whole finished product of like all the interviews, all the footage, the investigation that we took place in. I know how many hours he works on this one episode. I'm like, oh, I give you so much
to create one episode.
Yeah, and
you would never think it.
And we never thought, like at the time, that episode would be such a big impact on Paraflex and Expedition Entity. And I bet you a lot of money that Larry will be bringing the Telly Award with him to Fort Wayne to put on the table and showcase. Because they just they've won multiple awards for that episode, but all the episodes of Expedition Entity are amazing. So I suggest that people haven't watched Paraflex, go check out Paraflex, check out Expedition Entity. They have 3 seasons. I'm on season 3, episode 1, but all of the episodes are amazing. Larry's amazing. He's really fun to talk to. Oh, yep. He's bringing the Telly Award.
Yep.
Hi.
So
it's part of your booth. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So Dave Spinks.
Yes, sorry. I get long-winded. So Dave Spinks is, I met him in Warsaw as well when I met Jenny. And Dave, if you've watched The Unexplained, there is an episode about the Willows Weep. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's a home in Indiana that they did an investigation at, a televised investigation, and there have been documentaries since. That she felt very threatened in her home. Like she felt, I don't throw around the words evil or anything like that because I don't know.
Don't say the D word. Don't say the D word.
No, I'm not that person. So there may be or may not be. I don't know. I haven't experienced it, but she felt like something wasn't very nice to her in that house. And so she was basically like, I don't know what to do. I won't live in it. Like, so now I've got this house and I'm paying for it and I can't, like, she was desperate. And he said, well, why don't you just let me buy it from you? And she was like, sorry, what? So he bought it. And so they have done investigations. They've done, what's the word I'm looking for? Experiments. They've done all kinds of cool things at that location to try to chip away and figure out what in the world is actually going on there. He bought it to investigate it.
So it's become more of a cultural learning center and investigation center.
Kind of yeah. I mean, it's not open to the public, to my knowledge, but it's for them to learn and figure things out. And I believe that they had been doing some filming around it as well. But very, very interesting. All very interesting people that you'll get to meet if you come out and see us.
Definitely. I'm super excited for this event.
Me too.
So where can people find tickets? How can they buy tickets? Is there investigation tickets still available? Because I want 2 tickets.
Gotcha. So, yes. If you go to fwparacon.com, you'll be able to see all the information about the event, the speakers. You're going to be able to see what the schedule looks like, as well as buy tickets. And if you still want to sign up as a vendor, we do still have some spaces available, so you can sign up there as well. So the investigation, we actually had so many requests for more investigations that we have decided to forego the Great Gatsby Ball and instead do 2 sessions of kind of an introduction to paranormal investigating sessions on Friday night instead of the Gatsby Ball. So it's going to be something that's going to be kid friendly. It's going to be novice friendly. It's going to be expert friendly. And just sort of, an hour of this is what it's about, having some of our speakers and other investigators talk about their different styles, maybe some etiquette, because there are things you do and don't do when you go into a presumed haunted location, because these are people. If you go in there being crazy or saying not so nice things to them, they're not going to like it very much. You wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah, so let's be nice to them. So a little bit of etiquette. And then here's what some of these gadgets do. And then an hour or so to walk around the building with these experts and put some of those theories to test. So there can be short little EVP sessions. If you brought your own equipment, let's use it and show us how you use it. So it's more of like an interactive type thing in shorter durations, two hour sessions on Friday night. Saturday night is the VIP dinner and the VIP ghost hunt. We do have last time I checked, about 8 tickets left for that. So what the VIP... I'm sorry.
I need those tickets. Thank you.
We'll get together afterwards to make sure that you guys can get yours. But
Cathy, I don't mean to interrupt you real quick, but if Jenny is serious about bringing me out there, I do have a very interesting lecture on attachments.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, so if you're looking for, maybe another, fill-in or something, I mean, I know.
We'd love to have you on retainer and get you signed up, if not for this year, next year, because honestly, we are so packed this year that we were just talking last week. Okay, now how are we going to get them all to where they're not overlapping each other?
I know.
The time that we have.
Trust me.
No, but still, I would consider it for next year.
I guess Larry is asking for my booth to be next to his booth, just an FYI.
Well, I will see what I can do. We haven't gotten that far yet, but I'll see what we can get figured out.
Together. We'll try not to cause too much trouble. I don't know.
But that wouldn't be fun. Trouble can be fun, like having fun and goofing around, and as long as it's nothing's flying through the air.
You put Larry on one side and Shane on the other side of me. It would be all good.
Oh, he said he meant dinner. He doesn't want to be by you in the vendor room.
Oh,
no, I meant dinner.
Wow, Larry, nice. Thank you, dude. Remember that.
All right, so Jenny, you know what's coming, right?
Yep, let's do it. You gotta do it.
What's coming. All right, so
every week.
I have 2 questions I always ask.
Okay.
So, no money into consideration. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere. Where's your 5 top places you would want to investigate?
That's interesting. Gosh.
You think this is interesting? Wait till the next question.
No, I mean, it's just hard because it's like, and I don't even know what I don't know. So there could be places just here in people's homes that may be like the best place to investigate. I don't even know about it yet. I definitely want to go to St. Augustine Lighthouse. I think that would be an interesting place.
That's an amazing location. I've investigated
Gettysburg. I would love to walk around Gettysburg.
Come next year. Come next year.
Gettysburg next year.
Please.
I want to. This year I couldn't, but I tried. I know I need to get out there. That'd be a good excuse.
The bash is so amazing. Like, I'm sorry, shameless plug. I have done the bash every year for the last 7 years, and it is an absolutely amazing event. And I even saw Jenny crying at one point. So, I mean, it's one of those things that...
Well, you feel the energy there, I'm sure.
Yes, it is completely different energy when you walk into this event.
Well, just walking on, being in Gettysburg.
Just being in that ground. Oh. When I was in high school, I took a school trip and we went to France and we went to Normandy. And that was probably one of my favorite places. Like, we went to Paris, we went all over the place, but one of my favorite places was Normandy, just because when you walk there, when you just come out and look at the beach and you still look at the things that are still in the water from the war in the ocean, I can't remember what they were called, but they're still there, and you just gets chills because you know what happened. You can feel it.
Spikes.
Yeah, like I can't think of what they're called, but there's a very, I don't want to say sacred, but it's just a very somber feeling. You can feel that energy, and you know that you're standing somewhere that shouldn't be taken lightly. And so I thought that was cool. But I would love to visit the catacombs, if for no other reason than to understand why what in the world is going on down here. Why I don't know the history behind catacombs. I don't know why people buried people the way they did. So I would like to understand that. I think that the French Quarter has a lot of energy and a lot of history.
In New Orleans,
the Myrtles. I'd like to go to the Myrtles. There's lots of places, and my list is just going to keep growing. Oh gosh, there's even a place, and I won't even name names. Pennywise must come with you, Russ.
No,
sorry, Jenny.
We are not doing this.
If you fly me out there for this event,
you're not bringing Pennywise.
I will pack Pennywise in my bag, and I will have to PSA.
The look on Pennywise's face just looks, I don't know. It's not menacing. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just funny. He looks like he's actually going to tell you a joke or something instead of bite your head off. I recommend.
No, but you know what? The fact that you brought up Normandy was actually really good because, two of my places that I would love to investigate, I have gotten a lot of shit for because one of them, it is not even for the paranormal aspect of it. It's for the historical, and us as paranormal investigators, we're there to tell their story.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. So two of my stories or two of my places that I consistently get shit for is Auschwitz and Chernobyl.
Okay. I get that though. I mean, if you're looking, you're not looking at it from a morbidity standpoint. You're looking at it as these poor humans. Like, how can I help them? Like, if I can, yeah. I get that.
It's not for the, hey, I'm coming in here, say something to me. It's coming to the point of, please tell me your story. Tell me what happened to you.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things, and it's not to a fact of morbidity, like you said. It's one of those, I just want to find out more.
And there are stories abound, and just each person's individual story. Just I could geek out over that because I should have probably been like a clinical psychologist because I love talking to people about what's going on in their lives and understanding their own challenges and struggles and what can I do or how did you overcome that, or that's an amazing story. So I'm all about personal stories too. So that would be a reason that I would think that would be a cool place too. Both of them actually.
I honestly do. So the second question I have for you, Jenny, you always love it. All right, so there are stipulations to this question.
Okay.
So you have 5 people to put on an investigation team, plus yourself, 6. So, fact or fiction, living or dead. Who would you choose your team of 5 to be?
I don't know how to say this. I don't think I want 5. I think 1 additional person at most. Because so my friends are like, you're such a paranormal snob. And I was like, well, if you know me, I'm not snobby at all. But when I'm investigating and my mom's with me or anybody's with me, you always hear me going, shh, shh. I can't hear them talking because you're talking. And it's like, stop, or your investigation, your gadgets are going off and I can't hear my EVPs. And so I get kind of like frazzled by that, where I just like to sit quietly in a place.
I forgot one more. If
Oh.
you're coupling, be it Dean and Sam Winchester, whether it be Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, okay.
Those are coupled into one. That's one pick.
Definitely Ed and Lorraine Warren, for sure. Jesus might be a good one. He's seen some stuff. Well, no, I mean, he is. Think about it. Like the story of, I'm a Christian, and I think that honestly, he's got more experience with that than anybody else. So, yeah, I mean, he died and came back. Else. So, Jesus, and Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want any more than that. It's going to get too noisy.
I'm going to take this one back.
My mom will want to turn on a flashlight, so I can't bring her with me.
I'm going to take this one back from you. You can't choose Jesus because he's technically a spirit already.
Well, so were Ed and Lorraine Warren, living or dead.
True. She got you there.
No.
Oh, yes, I did.
Somebody actually stopped him.
Were actual living entities at one point. Jesus
I believe
was.
Yes. He was born, and then he died.
He was born. He walked the earth in sandals. He fed fish. Everything like that. But
he fed the fish, or he went fishing and fed the fish to people. Teach a man to fish. Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't think you can choose somebody that is technically considered the Holy Spirit.
True. That's cheating.
That is
I might
not
just
cheating.
go by myself. Can I go by myself and can I go by myself? Or just have somebody that just won't make a lot of noise and turn on flashlights.
Like me. I'll go with
and don't bring a bunch of noisy guys. No, it's fine. No, I learn things from people all the time. I like watching people who do use the gadgets that I don't use myself, because sometimes that is interesting. I might use that in this situation. Or I would say, just turn them all off and sit here and see what happens. And they'd say, well, I haven't, I got so far into the techie side of things that I haven't done that for so long. I forgot that that's a good thing too. So I don't know, I'll change my mind probably tomorrow, but Ed and Lorraine Warren for sure. Or just Lorraine. I'll just take her. She's cool. I like her. No, I don't need 5.
We're not counting Jesus. You need to give me 5. You need to give me 5.
Oh my God.
I can't do that. I don't know. You put me on the spot. It takes me. Do you know how long it takes me to figure out which thing to buy on Amazon? I have to put them all in my cart, put them side by side, narrow them down to 3, narrow them down to 2. I can't do that like on the spot with 5 people.
Well, that's what I do is I put people on the spot and make you answer the question.
And I said Jesus.
All right, fine. We'll count Jesus. So you got 3 now.
Will it impasse? Okay. So you're still waiting for me. I still have to come up with more people.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm over here doing the Jeopardy theme in my head.
Okay, I'm going to bring Ed and Lorraine Warren. You said those count as 1. Jesus is 2. I am going to bring my mom because she's hilarious on these things. I need 2 more. Probably my son, because I'm starting to get him kind of all into all of this. Who else? Oh, there's so many people going through my head right now, and I'm going to make somebody. I don't want to make you feel bad by not choosing them. My husband, because he's a complete skeptic, and I would like to Scooby-Doo. Man, Bonnie, where were you a second ago? I should have said that.
I was actually gonna say, damn it, Bonnie. Like literally, like I was actually gonna say somebody I had actually chose Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
Really? We were watching Scooby-Doo today, actually, at the lake, my son and I. Okay, Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
5. You've got your 5.
You're gonna take Scooby-Doo. All right. You better have some Scooby Street. You better have some Scooby treats for him. So
Scooby snacks, yeah.
Scooby snacks, Scooby streets,
Well,
snacks.
I've got it all. I've got everything a dog can want.
Well, I guess you'll see me, Russ, and my mom in September.
Excuse me, what?
Well, in August, I'll see you in Michigan.
Russ, you're coming with. No, you're not taking that. If I'm buying you an airplane ticket, you're not bringing Pennywise.
Oh, well.
Okay, if you bring Pennywise, you're not coming with us. How about that? Oh my god.
He's poking the bear. Yeah. It doesn't even look scary. Now he's gone. He's like, well, on that note, peace out.
No, I took him off until he turns Pennywise off.
He gone.
But again.
Anywho, yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you in August, and then we'll hear in a few weeks, and then in September.
Absolutely. Oh, Russ is back to his normal self now.
Oh, he took it off. All right.
So you will see Russ in September at Fort Wayne, because now I open my mouth. I have to keep that promise.
We got Boo Buddy over here.
Yes, I like it. And I'm wearing Boo earrings too.
Oh. But yes, everyone go get tickets for Fort Wayne Paracon. It's going to be amazing. You'll see me and Russ and my mom and everyone at the
And adoptable fur babies.
Don't do that to me. Don't.
Yeah. Yes. So even if you're not into paranormal, don't you fling that at me, Jenny Davis.
I'll do it
even if you're not into it, come to adopt some babies, or to help support Humane Fort Wayne, or help support suicide prevention and awareness, or just support us or me or anybody you know who's part of it. You know, that's what we're needing. We're just needing a lot of support to ensure we can keep doing this every year.
Something near and dear to my heart is suicide prevention. I've been through it before myself, and you know, it's one of the biggest resources out there. And you know, we don't like to talk about it.
Nope.
You know, it's almost like
but we have to. It's because if we don't, I mean, people, I've started becoming more and more of a mental health advocate myself, because I deal with my own issues. And you know what? Unless you feel like you have a place where you can talk about it, you don't know how to process it. Like for me anyway, I have to have an outlet.
And you know, no offense to you or Jenny, but men are the leading cases in suicide. And over 60 men a day take their own lives. And that's because we're built up to be like, you have no emotion.
You can't feel. Yeah.
You can't feel. Yeah. You're strong. You're supposed to put this on. And people don't understand what us as males go through. And, you know, I've gone through it myself before. And, you know, Jenny's been right there with me, and I've talked to her through it. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's not talked about enough. And that's why I love Tim's message so much. And, you know, hopefully, Cathy, I see you in.
You will. You will. I'm looking at plane tickets right now.
Oh, she's looking at plane tickets right now.
$360.
They're $160. All right, cool.
$360. $360.
Is that round trip?
Fort Wayne has their own airport. It's the smaller one, so it's usually a little cheaper.
Okay, Cathy, how is the travel lodge in Fort Wayne?
I don't know. I've never stayed there. Before. Well, let me just say the Courtyard by Marriott downtown is the one that is going to be our preferred. There's also a Hampton downtown. I'm going to put a list together of some other outlying places that people can go. There are some parts of, I mean, just like any city, there are parts of Fort Wayne that you want to go to and parts that you might not. And you don't know that if you're not from here.
Sleep on the floor. I don't care.
Okay, so I can get one hotel room and the rest will sleep on the floor. Cool.
Yeah, because I'll be up before you anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and he's not bringing Pennywise. He scared the shit out of me.
Oh my gosh! If he's going to share a room with you, you're going to wake up with it like next to you or something.
Oh no! This was his thing. This was his threat at Gettysburg. He was going to wake me. He was going to get into my hotel room that my mom as Pennywise. But I outsmarted him and left the hotel at 5 a.m. one day. Oh. I went to the battlefields.
Bonnie, I'm sorry, and I'm going to call you out right now, and I'm sorry if Jenny runs down and yells at you. But your mom actually did text me your room number.
My mom would do that too.
Mhm. Oh yeah, she told me, but I outsmarted you by going to the battlefield at 5 a.m.
before you had a chance to show up.
Yeah, but I still got you the night before, so.
Mm-hmm. So, but
I
thank
can
you,
see
Cathy,
a brother
for coming on.
sister dynamic going on here. Like
It so much is. It so much is.
Bonnie goes, I told her.
But thank you, Cathy, for coming on. We will see you.
Thank you
I
for
will see
having
you in a
me.
couple
I
weeks,
appreciate it.
and we'll
Yes.
see you in Fort Wayne. I'm booking Russ's flight tonight.
I hope to see you in Fort Wayne.
Yes.
I'm
I will
booking
look
the
forward
flight
to it.
tonight, so we'll see.
Well, it was nice to meet you an hour ago, Russ.
Russ is like, what? His wife is gonna shoot me one of
I'll
these
see
days.
you in a month.
Sounds good.
Thank you again, Cathy. We'll
All
see
right.
you next
Thanks so
month.
much. Bye.
So that was Cathy. Go check out Fort Wayne Paracon. It's gonna be fun. You'll see me. You'll see Russ. I'm booking his flights, so I guess I'm
Hi,
flying.
I'll be there.
I hope you didn't have plans that weekend, Russ.
September? No, I don't think I do. But okay.
So again, to just do the giveaway, go like our Facebook page, Unturned Pages, and then go on Spotify and follow, or whatever they call it on Spotify, Unturned Pages. Take a screenshot of that page saying that you're following. Go back to the Facebook page, find the post, upload that.
Send us a screenshot of that in the comments.
Yep. And then invite your friends, tag them, and every person that you tag is an extra bonus point for you to enter the giveaway. And it will end on the 27th of this month. And it is for a Enchanted Awakenings gift box.
Oh, and trust me, if it was anything like the gift box I got from Jenny in Gettysburg, you're definitely want to get in on this.
Oh yeah, Wes got one. Him and his wife got one, and I think
this is something from the gift box, and I love it. It's what it said is move mountains.
Mm-hmm.
It says the man who moves mountains begins carrying the smallest stones. So trust me, it is definitely a motivational thing for me, and it's blue obsidian. So definitely.
And we can't go and not thank our sponsors again: Werner Paranormal Preservation Society, Enchanted Awakenings, and Expedition Entity. Next week, we will have Paranormal Encounters with India and Connor. We'll be talking about their YouTube videos and their paranormal journey. So again, next Sunday, 8 p.m. Central, back at this spot, and we'll have the announcement.
And tomorrow I have on Compass Curiosities, my show on, and actually going to be streaming here. Because of a snafu, a little curveball thrown at the area. I will be streaming my show, Compass Curiosities, here on the Unturned Pages network on StreamYard. I will stream that from everywhere that we have listed, whether it be everywhere that Jenny has listed.
Yep.
But I will have Tim Conwell on tomorrow, who is a UFOologist and also a paranormal investigator. And we will be talking about the Senate meeting they just released with the UFO reports and everything like that. So that'll be a great show. So I really appreciate you guys all listening. And you guys make the show. You guys is what makes this happen.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you all tomorrow night or next Sunday. And you all have a great week and keep the positivity up and going. Y'all have a great night.